the evening of May 12, 2012, the Polish Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, landed in Ottawa, Canada on an official 2-day visit. On Sunday, May 13th, the Prime Minister traveled to the first and oldest settlement of Poles in Canada, located in Wilno, Ontario. It is here that the first Poles, more specifically Kashubians, immigrated to and made their home halfway through the 19th century. Upon arrival in the town, the PM toured the Wilno Heritage Museum, which depicts period life from the 19th century. He then planted a linden tree at a ceremony on the grounds of the museum. The PM then made a brief tour of the oldest graveyard in Wilno, which is the resting place of some of the very earliest Polish settlers. After a brief tour, the Prime Minister made his way to Wilno's St. Mary's Church, where a packed hall of Polonia awaited him. There, he spoke from the heart to those who were gathered. On Monday, May 14th, Prime Minister Tusk visited the Canadian Parliament for talks with Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Upon arrival to Parliament, the Prime Minister was greeted with a 19-gun salute. He inspected the guard and made his way into Parliament, where he signed a guest book in the rotunda. The Prime Minister then headed up to the Canadian Prime Minister's office for a private meeting where the two leaders could speak face-to-face. As the talks came to an end, the two Prime Ministers made their way to the conference room, where they witnessed the signing of a double taxation treaty between Poland and Canada. They took questions from journalists after making a few brief remarks. After the press conference, Prime Minister Tusk traveled to the Canadian Governor-General's house, where he met with Governor-General David Johnston. Following the meeting, the Prime Minister returned to the Château Laurier for a meeting with local Canadian businesses with strong ties to the energy sector. Upon the conclusion of the meeting, the Prime Minister held a brief press conference with Polish media on the terrace of the Château Laurier. The final engagement of the day included a meeting with the Polish diaspora in Parliament, where Prime Minister Harper and Prime Minister Tusk made remarks to those who were gathered. This final engagement concluded the Prime Minister's official visit to Canada.